All right, baseball fans, welcome back to this eliminating the San Diego Padres video. We're looking at the stats of them. They're a half game worse than they were a year ago. Statistically, really close. So they're kind of treading water, just like right near 500, but under it. Um, Practically not that close to the playoffs as they might wish they could be with enhanced talent. They've had a nice farm system. They've been holding guys back like the Johnny Grubbs and the Dave Winfields and the Randy Jones. They're all here now, and then the question's going to be what happens next? What's the next wave coming in? Is there anything left in the farm system that'll push this team up with the Dodgers and Giants and Astros in the West? Um, Looking at the offense, Dave Roberts played second base, not very good defensively, but good enough to get to an All-Star game. 315, 6 homers, 18 RBI, 3 stolen bases. Nate Colbert had a nice little MVP run. We'll probably finish top 5 voting, but he'll probably lose out to like a Willie Stargell or a Johnny Bench or whoever else, maybe a Hank Aaron, whoever turns it on down the stretch in the postseason tournament and playoffs. But he had a nice run with 14 dingers and 40 RBI. Cedar Gaston, platoon role, probably should have played more. LeRon Lee hit just 280 with a 300 card. Grubb, same thing, had a 295 card at 266. Enzo, 246. McMullen, yeah, we're getting down there. Yeah, Dave Winfield, he disappointed. Yeah, first year, it's going to struggle. Give him some time. The defense has to get better. The offense against right-handed pitching has to get better as well. And after that, it's pretty yucky for the offense. Pitching, you got to talk about Randy Jones first. He had a fine rookie season, 7-5, 94 innings, 4 complete games, 306, buck 14. But actually, the other southpaw, Brent Strom, outdid him in 71 innings, 2.13 ERA, 3 complete games, 102. Cards very similar in the year of 75. So that tandem will be around with those cards for 4 more years. Take advantage, San Diego. 2 top lefties. That's like Cuellar McNally, or it's like Kuzman and Matlack, or it's like Vida Blue and Kenny Holtzman. I mean, have 2 great lefties at the top of your rotation, and you got a lot more work to do building out the rest of that roster. But you get what I'm talking about, folks. Bryce Ledman on 3 days rest, not so much. Schellenbach did exactly that. And it looks like Big Game Bob Johnson, we could take away the big game from his moniker. He'll probably retire at the end of the year. Speaking of that, let's take a look at the Padres, and we're going to look at who is going to come back, the 12 players, and what balance they're going to have, hitting and pitching. Turns out they went with 8-4, which means their offense will be a little bit better than the pitching. They have a catching platoon of Adrian Garrett and Mike Ryan. Probably could use an upgrade. Probably will have to make trades somehow to get out of that. Don't know how you can do it easily. But that's a pretty weak pairing. Actually, the funny thing is, Garrett's got a better card in 75. That actually would make some sense if you can improve that card. That would justify a platoon, at least, with a defensive-minded catcher over there. By the way, this is Mike Ryan's best card you're ever going to find at 232. They got Fregosi. Nobody else really wanted him, as it turns out. And they love the versatility in San Diego. He played starting shortstop with Enzo backing him up. With Nate Colbert presently not here, he's temporarily the first baseman. That will soon change. Here was Vic Harris. We saw him in the series. Another useful center fielder, second baseman. Can play third and right field. 600 plate appearances, has power versus righties. Fun player to have on your team. Here's the all-star Dave Roberts. Ignore that, folks, because he's just can hit the ball. He can steal some bases. It's the only year of his career he does it in almost 500 plate appearances. But the defense is terrible. Here's Enzo, and this defense is great. This is probably the best Enzo you're going to find. A 2, an A, a B, double A. Hits lefties pretty darn good. And, against righties, he's fishing around. But, it's okay. And Johnny Grubb. Okay, so we know Grubb and Winfield have got to be two of the best talents on these teams. In the case of Grubb, we have a 311 hitter. 400 and some plate appearances. He's okay against lefties. Great defense, good defense. Beast stealer. May get a better card in this timeline, but right now, Johnny's looking good in center. And this is the Winfield card, and frankly, in the years of 73, 74, and 75, not a lot of difference, really. Pretty much the same kind of performance, a 255, 265. Gets 20 homers here. The production's over here on the left side. Defense, it's got the -2 arm. Eventually it'll be a -5 arm, but he's a 4 range. So he's a work in progress, but his progress will, he'll start getting to that ceiling pretty quick. Now the 4 pitchers, and they're all starters, beginning with aforementioned Randy Jones and Brent Strom, the twins. I mean, my goodness, who's who? Is that Brent Strom or is it Randy Jones? Now, let me do it again. Brent Strom, Randy Jones. Figured it out yet? Oh, you sure? Brent Strom, Randy Jones. It's Randy Jones, right? Oh, it's Brent Strom. See? They're the same guy. Jones can pitch on 3 days rest. Strom can't quite do that, but hey, that's a great start to your team. You start with these two, and you're like, oh, this is going to be a playoff team, right? And then you're like, no. Here's Freisleben. He's all right. Starter 6, a little short on length there. Walks against righties, no homers versus lefties. Decent pitcher, reasonable number 3. Better suited to be a number 4. But he's got 2 more years left with that card, and he turns to a pumpkin. Then you got this free agent, Ed Sprague, very versatile. Starter relief, 7-4. No homers on the card. Pitched very well. Was a Brewer, actually, in 74 with a 2.39 ERA. So that versatility, you can put him back in the bullpen since you don't have anybody, or make him your number 4 starter. But a great free agent, probably, of all these free agents. Garrett's a free agent. Ryan's a free agent. Fergosi's a free agent, as is Vic Harris. Yeah, Sprague may be the best of all those. Anyway, let's take a look now at the 8 other San Diego Padres that we have to decide who we want to keep, put on waivers, and retire. All right, baseball fans, we're going to take a look at these 8 players, whether or not to keep them, waive them, retire them. And, of course, Nate Colbert, we start there. Big year for him in 72. Monster year with 38 home runs. Let's see how much juice he's got left. There he is, folks. 38 dingers, an 841 OPS, and a 8 MVP. He is still an all-star in 73 with 22 dingers, 7093 OPS. Then he starts to fade a bit. But got to go 1 more year for Nate. Until you find the heir apparent at first base, it's not clear yet who that would be. So Nate Colbert, this is hardly surprising. He will be a keeper. So we put the guys who want to keep in column 1, give them $10,000 tokens units. If we want to waive them, we put them in column 2, give them $100. The guy gets retired, we give him a lottery ticket and $1. Next player, Cito Gaston. I wonder if they got him under Clarence or Cito here. Let's go check it out. How many Citos are there? Ah, there you go. So, he had a big 70, I believe. Which was 70 was a huge year for Cito. Sandwiched between mediocrity. 72 card we just played. The best of the rest. But wait, he's got a little bit of juice left as a Brave. 75, 76. You could take that card. You don't have to defer. So, and you can also take his 73 card because he's a Padre. So, and a full season. So you don't have to kick this guy to the curb. He's a good baseball player. Let's keep him for now because you're the Padres and you need chips. You need talent. You need something to barter with. We talked about, improving our catching a lot. So the best way to improve the players you presently have is to trade your futures, in this case. All right, the next player, speaking of future, is LaRon Lee. Not so bright for LaRon moving forward. Yeah, we had a fantastic card for him in 72. The dude hit 300 with an 850 OPS. A lefty who could hit left-handed and right-handed pitching fine. Not very good defensively, that's okay. But then after that, he doesn't come close to an 850. He's a 640 guy. He's a one-way player. He misses years. He's out by 76. So I know he's got a year in 73. It's not a good year in 73. He's your player, though. Doesn't mean you have to keep him. You're not obligated to. We just have to make sure you can give him waivers. Has to have a strat card for the first year of 73, next year. So he probably, yeah, he will. He's got 369 plate appearances. We'll just double check before we make it official. Putting him on waivers. And Gaston is on the roster sheet as outfielder. There you go. So I could make him a keeper. I'm going to be optimistic and assume I got so many guys I want to keep that I want to put him on waivers. Technically, in this situation, what I could do is let's make him a keeper for now. I know, but it's much easier for these teams that are weak to push keepers into waivers or retirement than flip it the other way. Practically no one's going to want to trade for him, but we'll just keep going. The fourth and final hitter in this analysis is Ken McMullen. Actually wasn't a Padre, another good free agent. They traded Ollie Brown to the Brewers and got Ken McMullen back. McMullen has a very intriguing career. Dodger, Senator, Angel, and Dodger again. Some interesting power numbers here in short sample sizes. In one of these cards, this is going to be a situation where he becomes a platoon player as he turns age 31. So first thing I got to check is waivers. And 85 plate appearances for the Dodgers in 73. We have to look that up. Dodgers. Do we have Ken McMullen here? Maybe not, because they're going to have Ron Sig at third base. But he's there, so saved by the bell. Ken McMullen can get waivers in 73. We're just going to do that, because there's a whole bunch of short sample results here. It's simply looking at the best platoon opportunity that is there and fit. Plus he bounces around between the Angels, Dodgers, A's, and Brewers, and is done by 1977. So for now, he is an excellent waiver candidate. That's what you want to do. We have to have enough guys on waivers so that there can be to fill rosters in the offseason as free agents. Now the pitching, it's all bullpen, which is could be troubling. It could be excellent. They could be glad to clean out the bullpen. Beginning with Ed Farmer. He'll miss some time, come back later. Interesting career for Ed. White Sox. See this? He misses 75 and 76, 77 as well. Comes back, has a nice 1980s, I recall. And then he bounces around Philadelphia, and then sometimes he's decent. 79 White Sox, he's really good. But we're way up here. 72 card, we got into the league at age 22 because it had an opportunistic split. He had some talent getting lefties out. So that's where you see the 1-2-7 whip. Now moving forward into 73, waiver claim opportunity. Yeah, this is simply retirement, so he can come out of retirement later in the decade, or he makes waivers because a 73 card exists. You see the total here, so it's got to be with Cleveland or Detroit, or a nameless card. So we're going to go to the roster sheet for Cleveland and Detroit, see if Ed Farmer exists. Here's Cleveland. He doesn't exist there. Here's Detroit. There he is. So they made a 73 Ed Farmer card for the Tigers. That puts him on waivers, and that makes the Padres happy, so they don't have to go worry about filling out their requirement for all the keep, waves, and retires. Matter of fact, no retirees is good news. That means they have some. There are going to be teams out there who have 2, 3, 4 retired guys. They're going to have to trade for some bodies, and the Padres will have some. Next pitcher, Bob Johnson, Pirate and Cub. Had a fun little career in the carryover league. And of all these Bob Johnsons, I think we want this one. 69 to 77. Yeah, there he goes. Pitched in the World Series of 71. Did really well with his 70 Kansas City card, his 71 Pittsburgh card. 72, 296. And 73, he's reasonable. He is reasonable. 73 Bob Johnson. And you could see he wasn't even part of San Diego. He was just a free agent. Does the 73 Pirate Bob Johnson card exist? Here are your Pirates. Bob Johnson card exists. He can get waivers. He can be a keeper as well. Let's go opportunistic again, make him a keeper since we don't have 4 yet. So now we have 4 and 2. So we've met our requirements. It's easy to retire anybody. You just say he's retired and you kick him out of the league, even if he has juice left. So we have Jim Schellenbach is the first one. And I think he actually is retired. I don't recall him continuing. Sometimes you can find this out from the, no, you can find it out from that page because it has his final year in it. If it said 72, you know, he's got to retire. But here it is. So we have this card is 72. In 73, he cannot get waivers. So he's on the retired list unless you want to keep him. There's nothing to keep. He pitches 20, 30 innings over a period of 5 years. So yeah, he did retire. He tried some comebacks. Didn't work out. Thank you, Jim Schellenbach. Fun card. Got you in the league with your 69 expansion card. And then nice years in 70 and 71 and 72. So lefties are always valuable. It'll be sad for a capable lefty reliever to leave the league. They're hard to find. Well, they're not. It's just because we have so many more teams. We've got 32 teams. We've got to have 3 lefties on each team. A lot of years, we don't. We run out. So teams have to get by with just 2 lefties on their whole roster out of 8 pitchers. Last guy, Vicente Romo. Oddly enough, they got him with a White Sox card. And I think he's actually better with the White Sox than he was when he actually shows up here in San Diego. Long career, but there's another gap. There, he's got a Padre hat on. But he's got a gap here. Yeah. So here he is, Dodger, Cleveland, Boston, White Sox, then the Padres. So we had this year, in 51 innings, a 1.25 whip. So the next 2 years he's in San Diego. And then forget about it because we don't see him again at 82. And that's probably, this card probably doesn't even exist. By the time that card is eligible, it'll be in the year 2032. I don't even want to think about it. Yeah, it'll be way in the future before we analyze that year. Okay. So, 73 and 4. Let's make sure he gets waivers. But I think I might want to keep him again. V. Romo. There he is. Let's keep him. Let's make this kind of farcical for the moment. That's okay. It's all right. We're not drafting. We're just assigning values to players. And frankly, of the 5 keepers, I only like 2 of them. Colbert and Gaston are reasonable if you get the Gaston Atlanta card. LaRon Lee, Johnson, and Romo, not so much. But knowing that they're keepers, you can make a deal. And get down to 4, 2, and 2. And as we add up now, we should have 10 teams eliminated. Yeah, we have 10 teams eliminated, which means 80 cards have been analyzed. With 80 cards analyzed, we should have 40, 20, and 20. We have 43 keepers, so we're +3 there. We're -4 there, and +1 there. So what we really need to do is, we need to, this is the case where right now we got 21 retirees, and we want to be behind that pace there for retirees. We're 1 over, because we only want 64 retirements, because that means that we won't have 64 guys on waivers if we have too many retirements, and so that'll shorten the waiver field. We don't want to see that. That means less options in the draft and free agency. So, but long way to go. And as the better teams start getting eliminated, you'll see less and less retired guys, because they'll have established players who will continue their careers for a longer period of time. So that's it for eliminating the San Diego Padres. Hope you're enjoying these analysis, and we'll see you next time.